Hey everybody! Today I wanted to talk to you about one of the most popular cryptocurrencies to date and one of the most well-known and popular methods for gathering it. As some of you may have guessed, I'm talking about Bitcoin mining. For starters, I'm going to give a brief rundown on what Bitcoin mining is. You're welcome to skip this part if you already know the deal, but if you don't know or just need a refresher, here it is. Bitcoin mining refers to the process of solving a set of equations in what is called a Bitcoin block. A Bitcoin block is basically like a digital record book of transactions that have been recorded on the Bitcoin network, and the miners who solve these equations are essentially verifying these records so that the network can keep track of what Bitcoins have been spent and where they belong. The reward for solving these equations, or mining a block, depends on a number of factors, such as how much data you actually pour over, how many miners are competing on one block, and whether or not you solve it before other miners. Due to the incentive of getting larger rewards by working more efficiently and more quickly than other miners, many different methods for Bitcoin mining exist, each having different levels of benefit and accessibility depending on your situation and how much you can invest into optimizing your mining rig. Here are a few of the more common methods that most people use, going from the most popular options to the less popular, and at times, even controversial methods. Number 1. GPU mining. First up, we'll be getting into one of the most popular methods to date, and that is GPU mining. What it requires is a GPU rig, which relies on graphics cards to mine the crypto, and is generally made out of a processor, motherboard, cooling system, rig frame, and anywhere from 2 to 8 graphics cards on average. Having more graphics cards typically makes mining more efficient, but it requires that you make sure that the rest of the setup can handle the workload, such as having enough cooling to support all of the extra components. Now, this is one of the more popular methods because of the previously mentioned efficiency, and it works so well that it's actually a method that is used on a larger scale by companies who do this sort of work as a profession. The only turnoff for people who are starting up is the initial cost, with a strong yet reliable GPU rig costing around $3,000, depending on your specific choice of parts. However, this is normally a worthwhile investment as a well-made GPU rig is widely considered a reliable bet for miners at any level, and does more than enough to get the job done at a reasonable pace without as much upkeep as some other methods. Number 2. Cloud mining. Remember big companies who often use GPU mining to make insane amounts of Bitcoin through mining? Well, they also happen to provide another extremely popular mining option for crypto miners who don't want to actively involve themselves in the crypto mining process. The way that they do this is through a service called cloud mining. In essence, you're using the company, known as a cloud mining host, as a middleman who does all of the work for you, leaving you to rake in the profits. The cloud mining service is, well, free, but at the cost of being severely less profitable due to the extremely slow mining speeds, as well as a few other conditions that vary based on the host. That being said, you'll start making profits as soon as the crypto rolls in, since you won't have spent anything. So if you're looking for an incredibly passive means of breaking into crypto mining, this could get you started. However, if you want to mine on par with the average user, you'll probably have to make an investment. Paid cloud mining usually requires browsing through a handful of plans and buying into whichever one fits your price range and other considerations. Additionally, some hosts allow you to custom build your cloud mining plan, so this method may be more comfortable for some since it's reminiscent of choosing a phone or internet plan. Once you pick one, all you need to do is finalize the purchase, register your cryptocurrency wallet code, and the host will start doing the work for you. The main drawbacks of this method are the steep investment cost, ranging anywhere from $500 to $5,000 for varying subscription lengths, from a year to a lifetime, including resubscription fees if you want to keep going without buying in for a lifetime plan. Additionally, when you break even and start actually earning profits largely depends on the state of Bitcoin during the period of your subscription. So you could be waiting up to a year before you start really profiting. However, if you're willing to wait, this could be a fantastic long-term investment and passive income stream. Number 3. CPU mining. This started as one of the most common ways for newcomers to get involved in the crypto mining scene, but slowly lost popularity as people discovered more efficient and less risky methods of mining. The reason why CPU mining was so popular yet risky is because of the very basic requirements. All it requires is a computer with a functioning CPU, so anyone could theoretically get started this way. But there are a number of risks to consider when attempting this method that oftentimes turn people off. Firstly, you need a strong computer with a very effective cooling system, which will cost you a lot up front for the rig and a varying amount over time depending on how much your electricity bill will shoot up due to a PC that is constantly draining power like a broken faucet. That being said, if electricity isn't too expensive in your area and you have a strong rig that you can cool properly, then this might be a nice way to slowly get into the mining game. In most cases, you'd be better off just making a GPU rig instead, but there are some people who've made CPU mining work when they're working on a micro budget. Number 4. ASIC, Application-Specific Integrated Circuits Mining. Now, considering that this is coming after CPU mining, this must be even worse than that, right? Well, not quite. In fact, it's actually one of the most efficient crypto mining methods in the world, and it is notorious for that reason, but it carries a lot of risk in spite of that. The reason why is because this method is actually dangerously effective, to the point that if too many people used them, or if a few people had multiple ASICs, it could utterly destroy the economy of a cryptocurrency. And if the economy crashes, then all of that mined crypto won't end up being worth a whole lot until the economy recovers. Even in less doomsday-like scenarios, this could result in a powerful few constantly robbing other miners of Bitcoin simply by virtue of ASICs outclassing most other rigs, making it near impossible for miners using other methods to thrive. So even if it doesn't kill the cryptocurrency, it could just as easily stifle the community surrounding it, which in turn wouldn't be good for the value of a cryptocurrency all the same. Given all of this doom and gloom, many users advocate against using these setups, and some are calling to outright ban the use of ASICs for crypto mining in general. So if you want to play it safe and have a reliable setup for the foreseeable future, it's best to use any other method to get started, unless the rules and regulations behind ASICs are resolved and agreed upon at some point. Anyway, that's all for today's video. I hope you learned a thing or two about the basics of Bitcoin mining and the most well-known methods for getting started. All of these methods have their ups and downs, risks and benefits, and general requirements to get started, but one thing is consistent. In order to get anywhere in the world of Bitcoin mining, you need to be willing to make a notable investment of both money and time if you want to come out on top. That may seem daunting to some, but if you play it smart and leverage your options based on your own personal and financial situations, then you could potentially make a respectable bit of cash in this new, booming marketplace. Just take your time. Don't rush it in the hope of making quick cash, and don't panic if the market fluctuates unexpectedly. Keeping a cool head and an eye on your wallet will help a lot in the long run, just like it would anywhere else.